How did you end up in prison?
So I grew up in Queens Village, and they had this back in the '80s in New York in the '70s. They had what you call busing, where you were like boxed off in your area, even if there was a school close to you. They sent you to another school in a better neighborhood, and so I got sent to school in Bayside. I went to PS 205, and um, uh, well, a lot of the kids that went to school with me from my neighborhood, they they was wild in the classroom. So here I was. I loved school already. In first grade, second grade, I was into it. I was in my books and everything. So I would raise my hand, and the teachers would be so happy to see one of the black kids, participating or understanding the curriculum, that they would call on me, they would praise me. So right away, I thought I was better than the next dude. I thought
Right.
I was better. I was smarter than all the kids in my neighborhood. That's what I was being
Right.
told every day. I was getting that reinforced at school. And so I thought I was smarter than everybody. Then I was introduced to, criminality. My father was a criminal. I come to visit him in California, and he had this opulent lifestyle, lived in beautiful homes and things like that. And he didn't seem to work a 9 to 5. Here my mother was in New York struggling, working overtime on. I barely saw her. She worked in Manhattan. Yeah, she took 3 buses to get to work, 3 buses back. It would take her 2 hours in each direction, and she worked overtime. So I never saw. All I knew was that she worked and worked and worked, and had corns on her feet. You know what I mean? So like,
Right.
when posed with those two options, especially if your ego is telling you that you smart, only the dummies go to jail. Well,
Right.
then that's the lifestyle that I chose. And that lifestyle is as addicting as anything else. And that's what it was. I chose it. That's how much I love this shit. It wasn't forced on me. I could have stayed squared up and just went through life, but I loved it. I sought the game.
Right.
Even when I got to California and I was in one of the nicest areas in the country, I'm the only hood. And that's where I was, because I
Right.
loved it. Right? I loved it. I love it still now. It doesn't go away. I just gotta live vicariously. But I loved it. It was my addiction. That fast money, fast lifestyle. Having that autonomy. Like I said, you got to do what you wanted to do. If I wanted to go to Miami, I went to Miami. If I wanted to go to Vegas, I went to Vegas. If I wanted to, fly somebody out, I flew somebody out. Why? How could, at that time, to a man in his teens and his early 20s, how could anything compare? Even though I still had that love for education, and I went, still was in school and stuff. I mean, who's going to pay for it? Me. I didn't get no financial aid or nothing like that. Didn't even know how to navigate that stuff. I paid for my tuition, and I didn't want to owe nobody. I ain't about to owe the government. They gonna be all in my business. And people don't remember they had these restrictions on people that had convictions for narcotic convictions. They still exist, that precluded you from getting financial aid. I didn't have
Right.
any at the time, but just the fact that was part of the attachment to receiving help. The strings. I didn't want no strings, man. What for what? I
Right.
can get out here and get it. So that's what it was, man. I ain't gonna lie, I loved it. I loved the lifestyle. I was addicted to it.
That's interesting that, you as an addiction counselor now you basically described your lifestyle, which I guess a lot of us had that same lifestyle, including myself,
Mhm.
as an addiction. Uh what so how were you able to break that addiction? Because you said you still
Uh,
love it now, but you don't act on it. So what's the
sure.
difference?
I think the difference was that, again, my environment changed. When I went on the run and ended up overseas, as I was telling you folks, regardless of how dangerous or risky it was, I just let it ice. I thought, oh shit, my father's a gambler, I'm a gambler. When I went to Europe and I was there for about 2 or 3 years, wasn't like I was running up on French dudes going, hey, what they hit for? Right? Like, it wasn't happening. So I realized that no, it's not gambling that I was addicted to. What I was actually addicted to was the shit talking and the camaraderie that goes along with the gambling that I missed when I
Wow.
stopped playing high school sports. Right. So that's what I realized, that shit, I can get that from gaming. I can get a play Madden and I can talk shit. Right. I could, I'm a Scrabble champion. I can play Scrabble and
Right.
talk shit. But see, again, I didn't know myself. So as I got to know myself, then I could see some restraint. I could institute some boundaries on myself. I could see tendencies. Okay, and then point him in the right direction. So yeah, if I love that lifestyle, and what is it about that lifestyle that I love? Oh, well, I like the spontaneity. Well, look at the field I'm in. Man, I don't know what's gonna happen. You know, I I got plans for tomorrow. You know, we're gonna do this and this and this, but man, the clients are gonna dictate what happens. It's always mercurial. You know, it's always spontaneous. It's always, it's actually my phone is, I mean, I got it on mute right now. I got 6 or 7 alerts and Google chats and, you know, stuff about what's going on and intakes and possible discharges, and I got to do an intervention here. So, you know, I take that. Something that I learned through the psychology too is like I was doing it before, but then they put a name to it. It's like the integration of self, all these different parts of your personality that you may demonize. And that's part of me, like, ooh, I just got to bury that. Well, you can't bury that shit. You have to find a healthy channel for it. You know, if I like things going like this, if I need that kind of stimuli, then I got to find a field in which is healthy for me, and more importantly, healthy for other people.
No doubt.
So then
How did you
I
get to know
part
yourself?
again. I had to get away from the environment. When we grew up West Indian, right? Like
Right.
everything was, the script was written for us. You know, the first script was go to Kingdom Hall. You know, go out there, knock on doors,
No
give out
doubt.
man. Like that was the script. And then when that script seemed to kind of fall apart, the next one was, you know, just, you know, be a rude boy. You know what I'm saying? So that was just told to me. All the isms I have, sexism, racism, homophobia, all that was something that somebody else taught me. Right? Just right now, I'm wearing a polo. I didn't come up with this shit. I seen a man in the magazine one day that looked like a distinguished gentleman, and I said, one day I'm gonna dress like that. Right? All this shit that we're doing right now is because of something someone else taught us or showed us. People that showed me what's up, they believe this, and I just followed that script. It wasn't until I
Gotcha.
got away from that that I discovered my own script. What are the things that I actually like? I never even took a picture with a female back in the day. You know, that was sucker stuff. If I caught my man at the malls with his baby mama or something, I'm clowning because like that was the script, right? Like
Right.
you weren't supposed to be doing all that. But what I realized is I love an intimate relationship. I love going on vacation. I love playing footsies. I love pillow talk. Right? But I couldn't cop to none of that. So a whole chapter of my life, I was voided that. So of course I was running around angry. Couldn't really be who I wanted to be. Or
Right.
it wasn't like somebody was preventing me, it was me. I bought into the shit so heavily that it kept me from, you know, true happiness, or at least actualization, meaning integrating all the parts of who I am into something healthy. So having that distance, being overseas, being in Europe, changed me. It could have been anywhere actually. All I had to do is get distance from that environment. I could learn what I actually like. And then you find out you actually like yourself. You know, you
Right.
end up loving yourself. And if you love yourself, it's much easier to be loved and give love. So I'm overflowing with love now because I'm so in love with myself.